We're living in amazing times. Who would have expected Israel's successful strike against Iran to be this successful? After decades of the world's trembling from Iran, Israel's strike last night has paralyzed the Iranian military, but the threat is far from gone. This is an active war going on with Israel's population centers under attack right now. These are extremely precarious times. What lessons can we learn from our history? What is the spiritual lessons, the spiritual leadership that can be given to us at this extremely difficult time when we are so motivated and so desiring to make a difference? What is it that we can do? Let's take a look at what we can learn from the spiritual leader of our generation, from the Lubavitcher Rebbe, when he spoke during and after the Entebbe raid in July of 1976. Watch this video presentation.
On the 27th of June, 1976, an Air France A300 Airbus bound for Paris from Tel Aviv was hijacked by Palestinian and German terrorists after a brief stop in Athens. The plane was diverted to Africa. It eventually ended up in Uganda, with the Palestinians demanding the release of 53 Arab and German prisoners. Over the next few days, all the hostages, except the 95 Jewish passengers, were released.
At that time, I was a Talmud in 770, learning in Zal. The seriousness of the issue took hold. It took hold of us in 770. It took hold of world Jewry.
אנחנו היינו במשך שבוע ימים בטרמינל של שדה התעופה. היינו בסכנת חיים ממש. אבל יש בסיפור הזה איזושהי סגירת מעגל שנפתח במפגש שלי עם הרבי. הייתי או נקלעתי למינכן בזמן שהיה שם הטבח של הספורטאים הישראלים על ידי המחבלים. נדמה לי שאני באיזשהו מקום הזכרתי, ואז הרבי נתן דברי חיזוק שבעצם אמר שהונה בחוזקו, בחוסנו של עם ישראל, אם הוא ילך בדרכי השם, אם באמת את החינוך יהיה כפי שצריך להיות, אז עם ישראל יתגבר על הדברים האלה.
Der Linie von Bitochen ist nicht nur als Ebchas und Scholem betreffen noch ein Linie Dugmosse, soll mir sein zugegräht, was mir darf demut tun. Nur der Bitochen ist doch auf Nafschid sein, als Tipil allein im Mosowa Fache, Bigdeils Reach o Yidme ko Oven, was ist dazu der Eize, ich komme drüber kam Pomi mit Pi, Eile, Vejenke, Misade Toev. או דוס פייל דם להרביס אייב ומסנקים.
העדה החרדית הכריזה שיהיה תענית חצי יום, ושכל ילדי תלמודי התורה בירושלים יבואו לחצר תלמוד תורה המרכזית במאה שערים לעצרת התפילה.
עלה לנו רעיון שכדאי שיגידו את ה-12 פסוקים של הרבה. אז הרבה דיבר על 12 פסוקים לילדי ישראל. אז לקחנו, אני והרב פבזנר, לקחנו מונית, באנו לרב וייס. אז הוא שאל, למה הרי אומרים תהילים? אז אני פלטתי, אמרתי לו, יש בזה סגולה להשבית אויב מתנקם בפסוקים האלה.
הוא אמר שככה אכן באמת יקחו את זה. כל הרחובות היו אלפי אנשים, אולי ברבע. זה היה ביום חמישי. בשבת היה הנס הגדול.
The rescue operation has been hailed as audacious and as a blow to terrorists around the world. In 36 minutes, they killed 7 hijackers and 20 Ugandan soldiers. Then they helped the hostages to the waiting planes and took off again for the long flight back to Israel. 3 hostages lost their lives, along with the commanding officer of the raiding party, but most reached Israel in safety.
ביום ראשון בבוקר הרב וייס אמר לנו, תשאלו את הרבה, מה הגדר של 12 הפסוקים אמרי חז"ל האלה? הם פשוט, מפי אילנים ויינקים, ילדים אומרים, זה משבית היה ומתנקם. או שהרבא בחר, כי זה לפסוקים האלה, דווקא יש להם את הסגולה להשבית היה ומתנקם. מיד הלכנו ומסרנו את זה למזכירוס, שהרב וייס שאל. בהתוועדות של י"ב תמוז, שהייתה מיד אחר כך, הרבי דיבר באריכות על כל אחד מהפסוקים, מה הקשר שלו להשבית היה ומתנקם.
Amit es ihnen abitochen, also mלכתחילה נצקומת באמצע, המחשבה היפך מחשבה טבע, אף אפשר טראchten wegen noch einmal על דרך זה, is zu der Eiser soll sein mit Pi, Eilen und Jenkim, der Inja von Mifza Tero, ki medubar Barucho, was hebt sich an, von Gdoyin bis Mishatinek Maschel Ledabe, was demult hat mit dem schönen Anlernen ein Eisele Tero, Tero Siva Lono Meshe, Mirosho Kihila Sianki.
The operation was planned and executed by Israel. We are proud of it.
It is quite possible that an overwhelming majority of members of the United Nations Security Council will condemn Israel for the way it rescued its hostages. It is even conceivable that the United States will avoid vetoing the denunciation, although President Ford publicly congratulated Israel yesterday for the success of its unprecedented raid.
Da gewend der nicht Sachen, in der Fall was mit Schädel gewend, der Cheshbenis von Zman, Schädel gewend der Cheshbenis von Mokke, Schädel gewend der Cheshbenis, was gute Freund werden sagen, Schädel gewend der Cheshbenis von jedem, was hat sich in der Ruf Mishtativ gewend. Wissen die, dass es ab Alpia Chesh mit der Cheshben-Punkt, a verkehrter, sie nur gewend etwas an Achise, in Darki Entebbe, und das gewähnt der Keli, also treffen der Hedel Hashem Kitei, ki bei jedem Chazé der Nest von der Meibischten, als hat Matzliach gewähnt.
The Rebbe was always very positive in everything. And he saw clearly the Yad Hashem, he saw clearly the miracles that were there, and he wanted everybody to understand it. And yet there were 3 of the passengers who were killed and one of the officers. Also wanted people to understand that we have a responsibility in bettering ourselves in Torah and mitzvahs.
Alle Jiden seinen Akema Acha Schleimer, haben sich dort gefällt 4 Jiden, is dort dämmelt a viele der, was Liebe leib hoeven. Zeichet Yimas Kamayim, und das darf mal Treifutter. Als nächster Fall drüber, was bei sich, wird vergrößern die Versicherungsmittel, bis der Tachlis auf Schorius, wird verlangen von allen Jiden herum. Lebst in Wasser mit denen, die das nicht leben, was für Achino das nicht bekommen. Is Autiste darf sich ein Treifutter und annehmen, die Tachlis auf Schorius, in der Versicherungsmittel, was durch was hast du die Schmiere von den Menschen, von Hinel, Leonen, Leischen, Shemer Israel, in das durch drauf, du verbindest dich mit Nebelsten.
There were 2 Brazilian boys who were on that plane, and they were back home already, safe and sound in Brazil. They were Shiva Bochrim. They were on their way home for vacation. So I called up both boys, their families, Saturday, Shabbos night, and I made appointments for Sunday to visit them, to check their mezuzahs, the Rebbe said.
Bei jeder jüdische Huis, wo sie soll nicht soll sein a kosher mezuzah al Pische, und sie soll gewähren nach Hanoche, aber soll beidig sein, die mezuzahs bei die 100, was man sie Matzel gewähren, die mezuzahs von Seher Heiser, und guckt was tut dort. Nicht has beschollen, kedei zu haben a jeden Bagreis, kedei zu bewohnen in Mikano Lahabo. Das ist nicht nur a de Mezuzah hitem und bewejachen, als geht rein in Huis, nur rechet bezeißer, als geht reis von Huis, und noch flieht oder geht oder fort, der Kajitze bozei, dem der Rebischte, Ad Katz Vitevel v'chol HaKosher bozei.
I went to the first boys' home, and there were 6 mezuzahs not kosher. From there, I went with my wife to the second family. There were 17 mezuzahs in the house, and we took off all the 17, and we checked them, me and the boy, in front of everybody. 11 were posel. So in the word shamayim of the 11th mezuzah, which was not kosher, there was a hole through and through of the word shamayim.
This was the call of the Lubavitcher Rebbe at this time to increase in all aspects of Judaism, all aspects of Yiddishkeit, in our spiritual sense, in order to be protected in the physical sense as well.
Kol Yisrael, a Revim sehr bozeh, dass geht zu jeder Jiden und zu allen Jiden, in der Hanoches Tfilen, der Achilles Kasher, der Schmiere Shabbos, der Gleben in Aschgocha Protis von den Nebischten, in das Ajine, was in der Gehe, wie sie steht in Druf jeder Jid, riecht das Sohn und das ist ein Teil von den Unionen Bitochen von Ajiden.
These are amazing times. We cannot be passive. Never before has Israel been attacked the way that Israel is being attacked right now. In the north, in the south, in the center of Israel, the shuls are closed. The Homeland Security has told the residents of Israel not to go to shul this Shabbos, to stay home, because there are intercontinental ballistic missiles, hypersonic missiles, drones being fired upon population centers all over Israel. We Jews are deeply connected. We're like on one ship. And if one of us has a hole under his seat, then the whole ship goes down. We are all responsible one for the other. Now is our chance to do something to support the war effort. We cannot fight in the military. Forwarding emails or reading newspapers is not going to help. What we need to do is to secure divine protection, spiritual support, to draw down God's divine intervention into the theater of war. This is the fulfillment of the biblical verse. At the end of the book of Leviticus, at the beginning of the portion of Bechukaisai, the Torah tells us, if you toil in the study of my Torah, and if you guard the mitzvahs, the commandments, and you do them, then I will give you rain in its time. I will give you peace in the land. You will lay down without fear. I will remove wild animals from amongst you, and the sword will not pass through your land. You will chase after your enemies, and they will fall before you at the sword. 5 of you will chase away 100 of the enemy, and 100 of you will chase away multitudes, and they will fall before your sword. I will turn my attention to you. I will make you prosperous, and I will make you grow, and I will fulfill my covenant with you. Friends, God is relying on us right now to make the choice to embrace God, to embrace Torah, to embrace mitzvahs. When Mordechai took down the Iranian-Persian regime 2,200 years ago, in the Purim story, the way that he did that was by gathering 22,000 Jewish children and teaching them Torah. After and during the Entebbe raid in 1976, the Rebbe encouraged us to check the mezuzahs, to study Torah, to fulfill the mitzvahs, and to study Torah in a practical and tangible way, not just in our hearts. And after the Iraqi nuclear reactor was attacked in 1981, and even before then, the Rebbe spoke about the importance of Torah study and of acquiring a Torah letter for every Jewish child in the global Torah, because our strength is in our connection to God Almighty. We're not just another nation like the Italians or the Greeks or the Americans or the French or the English. We're not Israelis, we're Jews. And as Jews, we need to be connected powerfully in an unbreakable bond with God Almighty. As King David tells us in the book of Psalms, chapter 8, verse 2, from the mouths of babes and infants, you have established strength to overwhelm the enemy and those who seek to destroy us. we can make a difference. Now is our time to embrace our faith, to lean on our faith, to embrace our connection with God Almighty. Let's bury the hatchet and say, God, whatever was, was. Now is our time to influence the outcome of this war as missiles are actively raining upon Israel. There's rumors that Israeli Air Force pilots, at least 2, have been captured by Iranian forces. God only knows what that means. These are difficult and precarious times. This is our time to shine. This is our time to stand up, to rise like a lion. Let's make sure that history will remember us Jews today for having done the right thing and not having slumbered and not having slept through this war. Do another mitzvah. Light Shabbos candles before sunset today on Friday night and Friday afternoon. Lay the tefillin, find your local Chabad rabbi and engage with them. Ask them what you can do. Study more Torah. Pray to God from the depths of your heart. Go to jewishgardens.com/pray. That's jewishgardens.com/pray to offer your prayer to God from the depths of your being. Give some charity. Do a mitzvah. Because together, we are unbreakable. Together, we will bring God to the theater of war. Remember, nothing is more precious to a parent than to see their children getting along. And when God sees us caring for each other, overlooking our differences, overcoming our imperfections, and doing what we need to do in order to secure God's victory, God's intervention, it's then that we will see miracles of biblical proportion. And God willing, we will see an end to all suffering, an end to all evil with the coming of the Mashiach. May it happen immediately. Amen.